Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode for season 4 where I'm doing reviews. This is part 2. Now, I always like to have a little quote, and this one I've actually been using for a while because it just means so much to me. I embrace a growth mindset, which allows me to remain open to new ideas and perspectives. This openness does not mean I must accept every opinion, but rather that I am willing to consider them as opportunities for reflection and potential change. I was just checking I'm recording. I've done that before. Oh, let me get rid of that little thing out of the way. Now, episode 155, How to Overcome the Fear of Imperfection. We looked at a few things. This is just 3. So each episode, I'm pulling out 3 points that I felt was really good. So redefining perfection. Perfection is subjective, and what might seem flawed to one could actually resonate positively with an audience. So this suggests that authentic engagement is often more valuable than perfection. Tracking successes. Keep a journal of imperfect wins, imperfect, whatever, serves as a reminder that progress often comes from imperfections, reinforcing that growth mindset. And the importance of action. The mantra, done is better than perfect, compels entrepreneurs to take action instead of getting stuck in that analysis paralysis, which promotes a more productive and fearless approach. Because what is perfection? Now, we are perfect in every single moment, yet we're always learning. So we continue to perfect. That's why there's no such thing as, this perfection, because we're already perfect. We just, as I said, learn. Now, episode 156, nurturing your creativity. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I love creativity. And creativity is accessible. It isn't reserved for the traditionally talented. It's a skill that anyone can develop with time and effort, making it essential for all. And the role of rituals. So, personal rituals serve as mental cues and warm up exercises that prepare the brain for creative work. This highlights the importance of routine in fostering creativity. And then navigating the creative slumps. The inevitable, that word of creative slumps is acknowledged with a practical advice on how to handle them by returning to the personal rituals instead of waiting for inspiration. Now, I always say that creativity is whatever brings you joy, whatever it is. So, in that episode, I gave you some practical advice. Episode 157, Lead with Heart, Not Ego. So, heart centered leadership is prioritizing communication that comes from the heart, fostering deeper connections and mutual understanding, which is essential for building the trust in business. Role of ego. Now, a healthy ego can provide confidence, but I emphasized that this should be on balance to prevent the negative effects of ego driven behavior that can hinder genuine connection. So we need ego, it's part of us. When it becomes the extreme, though, that's when it's not healthy. And self acceptance. Releasing the pressure to prove oneself allows for more authentic expressions of who we are and what we offer in both personal and business ventures. Episode 158, I talked about drama detox because it is such an energy drain. And you may not realize how quickly social media can drain your energy. The subtle negativity in posts can affect one's mood and productivity. And that's why I said subtle negativity, because it can be very subtle. Now, the signs of absorption, You're experiencing fatigue or irritation after browsing social media, and that can indicate that you've been absorbing negative energy from others. Healing practices. So things like journaling and breath work can help you reclaim your energy and refocus on creating healthier, meaningful content. And me, I really do struggle with scrolling social media and being on there for so long. That's why this episode was really powerful for me as well, because it helped me understand that I get into that habit and, it's time to stop. That's why other things are important to me now. Now, episode 159, what do you do when no one shows up? And I mean, like consistency builds trust. So regular posts, even with low engagement, establish a relationship of trust as followers may silently appreciate the content over time. People can follow you without engaging, and then suddenly they might buy or refer. And so the value of silent followers. As I said, many consumers may follow and engage content without direct interaction. Yet these individuals can become customers or advocates and speak to a single ideal client. Tailoring messages to a specific audience strengthens the connection and facilitates better engagement. That's why niching is so important. And does it mean that you have just one niche forever? No. As you grow, you may end up with a few niches. Even if you're multi-talented, you're still you still can have a niche that incorporates all of those things. I'm an artist. I'm also an intuitive business coach. That's being multi-talented, and I incorporate those two together. Episode 160, Sacred Self-Leadership. So redefining leadership. Leadership is framed not just as a role, but as a practice of self-awareness and self-embodiment. This perspective encourages a more holistic approach to leading oneself and others, which fosters deeper connections and more of those authentic relationships. Because leadership starts with you first. So the self-awareness and self-embodiment. And the power of softness. Softness in leadership is redefined as a superpower rather than a weakness. And this concept invites you to embrace your vulnerability and compassion. And this fosters a genuinely supportive work environment, even if it's yourself and your energy of your business. That's a work environment. Emotional awareness and alignment. Before making decisions or taking actions, check in with your emotions because this is essential. This practice ensures that leaders make aligned choices that resonate with their core values. The more that you tune into yourself, your intuition, the energy of your business, the more that you will run your business in a way that works for you and not the cookie cutter systems that people out there, the coaches out there, business, whatever, teach you. And how do you recognize misalignment within the energy? So identifying misalignment patterns. Some of the key signs can appear in daily routines and relationships, indicating the necessity for change and self-awareness. And understanding about business energy, because every single business has its own energy, which can become misaligned to you due to various factors like emotional fatigue or outdated practices. Recognizing this energy is key to fostering a successful business. And then we implement course corrections. Appropriate correction techniques, including both intuitive approaches and practical strategies, acknowledge the outdated systems or beliefs. And because your business has its own energy, it may have actually moved forward quicker than you have, which is where your emotional fatigue and outdated practices come in. And also the energy, the business energy may have fatigue. And 162 was inner child dialogues, conversations for healing and growth. Now, emotional echoes of childhood. Emotional responses such as panic, the sting of being left out, or people pleasing often stem from the inner child seeking attention or comfort. And this highlights the need for compassion and awareness towards these feelings. Inner child and business anxiety. Understanding how inner child fears influence professional decisions can help mitigate anxiety, encourage healthier boundaries, and nurture self-worth in entrepreneurial ventures. Remembering that your inner child does not run your business. Your inner child, think of it as an actual child. They do not work in business. They do not run in business. Yet they still have fears and doubts and beliefs. And the more that we show love, compassion, and acknowledge the inner child, the less that they actually influence us and our business. And so we can reparent through letters. Writing compassion-filled letters serves as a powerful tool for the self-validation of yourself and your inner child, healing wounds left unexplored or unsupported in childhood. And for me, this was a big one. I did feel left out a lot in my childhood, and that transferred over into work and business. And now, honestly, I don't care anymore. I am so happy and so passionate about my business that I attend networking events that I want to. And like every year there's a conference. I went to it once, I think once, twice. And now I don't care to go anymore because it doesn't fulfill me. And that's what's important to me as a business person. Because my inner child is much happier, I am able to understand what works for me and what conferences and everything I want to attend. Episode 163, The Subtle Art of Energetic Detachment. And this one's a big one. I learnt this in the healthcare system because the more that I was attached to people and patients and everything, the more unhealthy I became. Not necessarily getting diseases and that, but I would be fatigued and, I would run myself ragged trying to fill every shift, etc. So letting go of control fosters creativity. When you loosen your grip on timelines and results, they allow space for ideas to mature and evolve. And this leads to better, more aligned outcomes. Now, what I mean by loosen your grip, it still means you have timelines and results. You're not holding on so tight that these timelines and results don't actually happen. Let go. It's not about just literally letting it go and going, yeah, whatever. It's not about that. It's about, okay, yes, I've got these timelines. I'm going to do something every single day to help me get to that timeline. And so let go of the control. Separating yourself from business reduces stress. So recognizing that the business has its own energy can prevent personal attachments to every detail and reduces anxiety. Now, as I'm recording this episode, I've had a lot happen in my life, and I'm now actually living in a new state. Today, something happened, and my brain, I don't want to call it overwhelm. Think of it like a filing cabinet that someone has opened. The wind has come in and blown everything around. And I've realized I need to have like a corkboard or something where I can write down all the different tasks that I need to achieve in my business to keep it moving forward and to actually grow. And so today, the friend that I'm living with, she actually had a cork board that she's not using. I've got that. I've gone out and bought a few things so I can write down all of those tasks and put them into order. And so this is what has worked for me. So I've always known that my business had its own energy. And so I'm detaching from all of that and I'm getting the stuff out of my head and getting it organized. That is me. I need things organized and I need the visual. And it has already today, the energy is so different for me and it's incredible. It's incredible. Now, detachment increases clarity, which has happened for me today. It's incredible. By detaching from expected results, you can objectively observe which strategies work and which do not. And so for me, I need that corkboard with all of that stuff. And it improves decision making without emotional burnout. I had a feeling I could get that emotional burnout. So guess what I've done? I've supported myself and my business. Now, navigating the void, what is it? Embracing uncertainty. Accepting that you don't have all the answers opens you up to unexpected possibilities and aligns you with your true business trajectory. That's what's been happening for me today. And so the void is like the in between phases, and these can be so productive. These are often mistaken for stagnation. Yet these times are crucial for recovery and preparing for future growth, much like breathing in and out. Think of an athlete. They need recovery. They run a race. They're not going to run and run and run and run. They're going to stop and they're going to recover. Same thing as us in business. We need recovery phases. Listen to your business. Success doesn't come from forcing continual growth, but tuning into what your business genuinely needs for sustainability. Talk to it. You'll hear it. Now, episode 165, procrastination is the message, and here is what it's saying. So, misaligned energy can cause procrastination. When the mind urges action but the body resists, procrastination is a natural pause, not a lack of motivation or laziness. So let's get rid of that word procrastination for starters. It's a word that someone thought up and it's wrong. It is so wrong. And this reflects an internal misalignment, suggesting the need to listen to the body's signals. Visibility and fear. Fear of being seen or of success can freeze progress, implicating deeper emotional dynamics in procrastination that must be acknowledged to move forward. So, again, reword procrastination for you. What does it actually mean? And our natural energy rhythms matter. Task effectiveness varies depending on where one is in their energetic cycle, highlighting the value of aligning work patterns with natural body rhythms for optimal flow. That is what is happening to me right now. I am recording these episodes because of my energetic cycle. Now, when you have no energy one day and then you do everything the next. So, energy cycles are natural. This is the body's way of working in waves, meaning fluctuations are normal and should be expected rather than resisted. Recognizing this helps reduce feelings of failure on low energy days. Your quiet days have value. Even when not visibly productive, the body and mind are actively processing, resting, and regenerating. This behind the scenes work is essential for sustained success. Think about having a job. Most people don't work 7 days a week. You rest. We need to sleep at night. We need to rest. That's why quiet days do really have that value. And so personalize your work rhythm. Productivity should align with individual energy patterns, not rigid external expectations or social media pressures. This approach improves satisfaction and performance. And this is where listening to yourself, not your coach, is so very, very important. Now, episode 167, what it actually means to be spiritual. Not one size fits all approach. Spirituality is highly personal. There's no required practice or right way to be spiritual. Individual connection is the key. Spirituality and daily life coexist. You don't need to change your lifestyle dramatically to incorporate spirituality. Moments of awareness can occur during regular activities. You might be sitting on a toilet. Guess what? You have some awareness. This is all spirituality. And freedom to choose your path. You get to design how your spirituality looks. And this freedom makes spirituality accessible and authentic. Now, I know of people that follow this person. I won't name because I think that's totally wrong to do that kind of stuff. And this person in the past has said, don't use crystals, don't use tarot cards, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I say to that? Well, you can imagine because I don't swear online. You get to choose what you want to do. If a crystal is going to help you in your daily life, then use it. If pulling a daily oracle or tarot card is going to help you, use it. Do you need them? No. Guess what though? I love them with a passion. I absolutely love them all. I've got crystals in my bedroom right now. I've got tarot cards. Only a couple because I've moved and decluttered. I love them. Do I need them? No. I want you to do what you feel is right. And if someone tells you you shouldn't do something, then go inside and go, okay, why would they say that? What feels right for me? If you don't want to use crystals, tarot cards, pendulums, whatever, don't. Do what is right for you. Oh, and that's the last episode for this last episode. Yeah, last episode. The last slide. Oh, I love life. Love it with a passion. Thank you very much for watching this episode and look out for the next episode.